But let's get in our guests first. Mr. Krishanu Mitra, spokesperson of the Bengal BJP, joining us. Mr. Darbar Ganguly, editor-in-chief of the Millennium, also an expert on affairs in West Bengal, a keen political watcher, and of course our senior political editor, Shogata Mukhopadhyay, who's been getting us several nuances to this story all through the day after breaking it earlier on. Mr. Krishanu Mitra, if I could begin with you first, and then I'll get in the others, especially Shogata, to put certain facts in place. Mr. Mitra, how is the centre, or how is your party rather, responding to these very serious allegations being made by the Trinamool Congress? Is it something that you feel is simply an exaggeration? Because these are very serious allegations being made against a central paramilitary force.
Actually, the problem is that the Trinamool is not making any allegation officially. If there is some kind of material with the Trinamool Congress or with the state government here, then it should come out with the material, and it should reach out to the Union Home Minister. But in this case, what we find that the state government is not doing exactly that. It is on the contrary doing exactly the opposite. It is now leaking these sort of information to the press, and so that's why it looks like there is no material with the state government. It is just making a hoax like.
No, Mr. Mitra, but this is not just information that is available with the press. This is information, there was a proper inquiry that was constituted, and there is now a report on it along with pictures that show some BSF officials training the Narayani Sena. Now, what sort of training this is a separate question altogether, but there is enough evidence to show that the BSF was training the Narayani Sena for something. Whether it was to execute a perfect march past or what, we don't know.
Well, madam, the thing is that if there is any sort of inquiry being conducted by the Bengal government, then it should reach the Union Home Minister with the evidence that it has collected or the conclusion that this inquiry has drawn. But we had whether the state chief minister has spoken with the Union Home Minister, I don't have any information on that front. If the Bengal government has carried out any such investigation, it should bring out the conclusion of that investigation to the Union Home Minister. But here we don't find any such activity from the Bengal government.
Okay. Well, the Union Home Ministry says it has not received any kind of report at the moment. The Trinamool Congress, of course, has its own side of the story. And we'll take all of that up. We're not letting you off the hook yet, Mr. Mitra. But before we come to all of you once again, I'd just like to play out that story just to put in perspective what exactly are the allegations that are being made and why this is all the more significant. Is it simply political, or is there something deeper and darker and murkier that needs to be looked at by an independent investigating agency? Here's Shogata Mukhopadhyay getting us that exclusive report.
Are the Jawans who are mandated with the task of protecting our borders involved in training a people's militia formed by an organization which is looking to break away from West Bengal and form a state of its own? Mamata Banerjee's administration certainly thinks so. Look at these pictures. Uniformed BSF personnel in what looks like a training camp with rows of volunteers of what the West Bengal government says is the Narayani Sena, a militia raised by the Greater Cooch Behar People's Association, or G.c.p.a. The G.c.p.a. has been demanding a separate state of Greater Cooch Behar in North Bengal on the basis of the ethnicity of the Rajvanshi tribe. The training, according to the probe report, happened a day after Independence Day without the knowledge of the state administration, and this is the letter from West Bengal Police that puts out details of the BSF's involvement in the training. A training camp for Narayani Sena volunteers presently deployed at the Chenakata BOP under Matbhanga police station of Cooch Behar district. The BSF, in a written reply to CNN News 18's query, has denied any involvement in the matter. But the Narayani Sena's parent organization G.c.p.a. has admitted to the BSF's presence. The organization's leader, Ananta Roy, said that paramilitary forces were only responding to their request to teach the Sena the proper way of giving a guard of honor, which they plan to give to BJP MP and Junior Union Minister S.S. Ahluwalia during one of his scheduled visits to the area.
Union Minister S.S. Ahluwalia will be visiting us. We have asked BSF to help us organize the event. BSF told us to take help from NCC cadres. We are talking to BSF. Let's see how the talks go.
This puts the West Bengal government in direct confrontation with the centre. The Trinamool Congress calls this an attempt by the BJP-led government to spread unrest in the region for narrow political gains.
So what apprehension we are making, these are all conspiracy going on against the present government of West Bengal.
But there were no conditions by them that they would like to have a Greater Cooch Behar or anything like that.
The agitation for a separate state of Greater Cooch Behar was at its ugliest about a decade ago, when violent clashes between the state police and agitators left 5, including 3 policemen, dead. One of the victims was the additional SP of the district. After a lull of a few years, the demand for separate statehood gathered momentum once again earlier this year, when a blockade of railway tracks for 5 days at a stretch led to the death of 2 patients inside waiting trains.
The Trinamool Congress maintains that the BJP, which reached out to the G.c.p.a. for votes ahead of the state elections this year, must own up responsibility for possible fresh unrest in the region. While the BSF has already denied charges, it looks like that there is more drama in store on this front in the run-up to the 2019 general elections. In Kolkata, Shogoto Mukhopadhyay.
Well, you can be sure of that. There is more drama in the kitty as far as the centre and state relations are concerned. Darbar Ganguly, just come in on this. Is the Mamata Banerjee government overreacting, exaggerating, or is there a dangerous political game at play here?
No question of overreaction. I personally feel that BJP is level-based to improve their poll tally from West Bengal in 2019 Lok Sabha election. If you remember that Mr. S.S. Ahluwalia, who got himself elected from Darjeeling parliamentary seat, joining hands with the Gorkhaland agitators, still BJP has not made it very clear that they still want the division of Bengal or not. But they were very clear in taking their support, and Mr. Ahluwalia got himself elected from Darjeeling with the help of those Gorkhaland supporters. At the same way, they are otherwise, because why BSF suddenly find support, or they are inclined to extend training program to certain section of people of a particular area? Let us BSF knows. First of all, your photographs clearly shows that
Mr. Ganguly, we've all seen the photographs, and look at what the photographs are showing us. Almost nothing. Yes, there are BSF personnel in uniform. And what exactly is the nature of this training, we do not know. It certainly isn't arms training, because we are not seeing any arms in the pictures. It just seems to be a Savdhan, Vishram sort of training. Many people could, question what's the harm in that. How's that a security scare?
No, the question is that, first of all, nobody has said that they're giving arms training. What is matter of concern that the KLO, which is a militant outfit who are demanding Greater Cooch Behar and raising Greater Cooch Behar demand, they were running a violent agitation for a longer period of time. On number of occasions, they had numerous clashes with the police, and their demand for a separate statehood has created a lot of tension in that area. And this particular organization, Narayani Sena, which is clearly backed by RSS sympathizers as well as activists, but I think the matter of serious concern is why suddenly BSF started giving training to this section of people. Let us also know the list of training programs which BSF is doing all other areas.
The BSF's explanation, right? The BSF's explanation to that earlier on was the fact that, look, we are tasked to secure our borders, and in border areas, we will need to be in touch with everyone just to ensure intelligence and just to have a good rapport with everyone. That's the explanation that the BSF has been giving off the record. But okay, I'll come back to you, Mr. Ganguly. I'll come back to you, Mr. Ganguly. I'll just like to get in our senior editor, Shogoto Mukhopadhyay, as well. And Shogoto, go ahead with any questions if you have for any of our panelists, since you know the story the best. But Shogoto, tell us what exactly, because one allegation that is coming in for the Mamata Banerjee government is that if you have evidence of something of this sort in an official report that you've generated on the basis of intelligence, then why not go ahead and take action at the state level?
Well, first up, Arunodaya, let me confirm that I have spoken to some of the senior most officials here in the state CID, and they have confirmed that they are going to wrap up this investigation inside of a week's time.
Okay.
And they have confirmed that they are, once they have started probing this whole issue, because according to them, this is a very, very new phenomenon that they are observing in that region, something that they have never seen before. So they have started the probe. The initial probe report is already with us, and they have clearly pinpointed that 4 BSF officials, including an inspector, were training some 390 personnel of the Narayani Sena. 81 of them were, female cadres of the Narayani Sena. Now the point here is that they are confirming to me that they would be wrapping up this probe inside of a week, with which they will have much more information, with which perhaps the Mamata Banerjee administration would then write to the central government, the Home Ministry in this particular case, with strong evidences and documents that the BSF apparently had no reason to be there inside a training camp of a militia which is being raised by an organization which is demanding separate statehood. Apparently the political angle over here is very, very strong. The BJP has, laid out its policy in North Bengal. They have reached out to the Kamtapuris, they have reached out to the Gorkhas, they have reached out to the Rajvanshis, and they have also reached out to the Adivasis. In fact, Juan Barla, one of the Adivasi leader of Kuch Bihar, was a BJP candidate in the last state elections. And all of these outfits, or all of these communities, have been promised separate statehood by the BJP, which is what Mamata Banerjee is very, very wary about. Okay. And she feels that this entire thing would lead to grassroots violence, and that would destabilize her government. Arunodaya?
All right, Shugata Mukhopadhyay, we'll leave it there for the moment. Krishanu Mitra, Darbar Ganguly, thanks both of you for joining us this evening as well.